People unite, empires fall.
Why such a crowd?
The circus has come to town.
These are troubled times. Brothers turn against brothers. Russia has had enough bloodshed. The violence must stop. When socialists attempt to divide Russia and her subject nations, to dent the sword that smote the enemy at Grunwald, this demands my decisive action. Thus, by my grace, I hereby appoint as Governor General of Warsaw, Georgi Antonovich Skowon.
A butcher.
Not a popular guy, I presume.
I see you ain't from here. That swine keeps a photo album of all the folks he's had shot at the Citadel.
Before and after execution.
Warsaw! The time for leniency and indulgence is over. From the moment this office is bestowed on me, no forces hostile to the subjects of Greater Russia will have any further right to exist. None! Whether it be brutal socialist subversives, communists, Jews, or other satanic provocators.
He sure knows how to unite a crowd.
Pardon me, are you Polish?
Yes, I feel Polish. My name's Victor.
Wanda.
This is Russia here. Like it or not. Warszawa! Время террора закончилось.
Иди нахуй!
My first decision as Governor General of Warsaw. Arrestować.
Great heroes in their sense of timing. Of course, now they're the first ones in the fight.
Samoobladanie, Polyaki. We want that rebel. The Loudmouth.
What happened?
Be a gentleman. Please kneel and tie my shoe.
I didn't dare suggest it myself.
Can I ask you a tiny favor? The Russians can't find out about this. The military is just looking for an excuse to suppress the crowd, and these workers are dreaming of thrashing a Russian gendarme.
Either one of you confesses to disturbing the peace, or всех забирай. We'll take you all in.
You can't handle all of us.
Can you get us out of here?
I think I'm open to any kind of suggestion.
With a book like that, I'd find out what would convince one of these bastards to let us go. Or I'd take on that self-appointed leader of the proletariat.
Interesting strategy. Who are you, really?
A damsel in distress.
Those don't usually hide ammunition in their stockings.
Can I explain it to you another time?
For instance, I could disclose to a soldier that you came here with ammunition under your skirt.
Maybe we should see who they believe. A respected lady of Warsaw, or a common magician who just 100 years ago would have been burned at the stake.
Well, since you asked so nicely. I'm going to take a look around.
Do you think it's a good idea to stir people up and send them to face bullets and bayonets?
What do you want then? My whole life on my knees? Kissing Ruski's ass?
Do you realize blood is about to be spilled? And that it might be mine?
Fuck off!
Pardon me, gentlemen.
The crowd has received the order. For now, zero response.
We'll give them a moment to arrest them all, book them, interrogate them. Gospodi will be home in November.
Gentlemen, please forgive me. Maybe there's a faster way to get this situation resolved.
Back off, Polyak, or we'll start shooting. Paniatno, scrum. Dawaj.
Dostateczno. Should we go in and capture the worker who's mouthing off and let the rest go?
Da, sierżant. We can use anyone as an example.
Szagom marsz!
Goodbye.
You're welcome.
I wanted to thank you at our next meeting. We could use someone like you.
We? Meaning the people you were carrying ammunition for and who got you Dutch pomade for your hair.
You haven't just got pretty eyes, you know how to use them. Maybe you'll find time one day for some jam donuts at Burke Rotblitz's?
Excuse me, may I? I need to get to a funeral.
He's a tempermancer. Don't let him through.
Good manners are a waste of time.
Get that heretic with fire and sword!
So enchanting. Spectacular. You with a scowl and a puffed out chest, and them dropping like flies in the blink of an eye? Collapsing on their own, becoming delirious? Extraordinary. Konstancja Szabłowska, the Warsaw Courier. Would you care to give me an interview?
Thank you, but I'm already late.
I'm sure you don't remember me. My name's Hayat, Mordecai Hayat. I wanted to offer my condolences.
Thank you.
Please, forgive my prying. I know Mr. Shulsky took nitroglycerin for his heart, but how did he pass away? Was that his cause of death? His heart?
Why are you so interested in my father's cause of death?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone. I'm sure you want to bid farewell to your father.
I knew you'd turn up.
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Stasha loved you in his own way. You look well. Lygia said you found some quack healer.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You don't recognize me, do you? But do you remember who taught you how to shoot starlings?
Uncle Voronin, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I probably wouldn't recognize myself anymore. Go look in on your sister, she's worried. We'll talk at home.
Sister?
Victor. I'm so glad you came. I wasn't sure if my telegram had reached you.
I'm glad too. How are you holding up?
All this caught me off guard, but for now I don't have time to think things through calmly.
Have you written to Mother?
Yes, but what can you expect? You know what Nadia is like. It was never her style to show up for family events like this. It's getting late, and we've still got the reading of Papa's will ahead of us at home. And I'll leave you two alone. I suppose you've got your own matters to clear up.
Fine, let's get this over with. So, it was me who got it right in the end. Back then, on the train platform, was the last time we saw one another. 15 years ago. After brief suffering, fell asleep in the Lord. Brief? I hope not. Did you write this yourself? A tyrant, bigot, and liar, mistakenly absolved, died after suffering all too briefly. That's better. Definitely closer to the truth. The day you died, you visited me in my dreams. I was a child when you hounded me out of here, and I remember you as you were back then. But in my dream you looked older. You gave me hell as usual. You didn't believe I'd succeed. You were wrong. I've come back with 2 salutars. I'm sorry there are so many things I didn't get to say to your face. All those years, I said them over and over to myself in my head. How you were never able to admit a mistake. You never sought blame in yourself. Someone else was always guilty, never you. Mother because she wanted something for herself in life. Lygia because she wasn't born a boy. Me because I was born a Thaumaturge, but I didn't want to live following your principles. And now... Farewell, Father.
Am I intruding?
Have you been eavesdropping like that for long?
All my life. I came to pay my respects to the dead. Stanisław and I were acquainted. You might say I knew everything about your father. Mr. Victor Shulsky, isn't it? Your absence from Warsaw has happily come to an end, I hope.
I haven't had time to think about it.
I understand. I hope you'll find some reason to stay here a little longer. Again, my condolences.
I didn't catch your name.
My name's Konieczkin. Ivan Konieczkin. Goodbye.
Such interesting friends you had. I guess I'm more tired than I thought. Great-grandmother Josefina, a Thaumaturge. Grandpa Nikodem, a Thaumaturge. I barely remember him. We can go. The hardest thing was getting the lid of the urn. The scattering I could handle.
You can play the clown, but I know how much this has cost you. I'm glad you went.
Love at a funeral. Eros post-mortem. Is it suitable for a young lady in mourning to fraternize with bachelors? Konstancja Szabłowska, the Warsaw Courier. Could I ask for a brief comment?
Hyena.
Thank you. And you, sir?
We're twins, my dear lady.
The Shulskis reunited. You don't look like a horrid cripple. Why did you leave Warsaw so quickly?
Don't tell her anything. She'll write whatever she wants anyway. And we'd better get going.
I can sort it out, but it might cause you some trouble.
It's not worth getting your hands dirty over.
Get out of here, or I might decide you're attacking an Imperial official, and you'll wake up tomorrow in the Citadel.
Are you threatening me, Judge?
I'm actually sparing you from him. Would you rather try your luck with a Thaumaturge? Come on, children. I'm sure my Pietia is already waiting for us at home.
I'd love to see my cousin.
Are you coming with us?
Thanks.
Get in. I'm sure the lawyer is already waiting for us.
Miss, your guests have arrived. The lawyer's upstairs too, waiting. A trifle jittery. Wonder if the tea I made him was too strong.
Thank you, Grażyna dear. Let the guests wait. First, I want to take care of the will.
I'll just wet my whistle and join you all upstairs.
Make sure Uncle makes it upstairs sober. And I'll suggest you don't dawdle either.
Master Victor, good God! Half your face covered, but I could tell right away it was you. You look just like your father in his youth. Completely his spitting image. Should I make you some cocoa, Master? It would warm you up a little.
Make an extra creamy one for Ligia.
Oh, I won't skimp on her. Now, your sister's putting a brave face on all this, but she's really having a hard time. It's lovely to see you again. But that's enough jabber for now. I've got the guests and the cocoa, and I've got to whip up some food for you all later. We'll talk soon.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone once today, but you look familiar.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not be very memorable, cousin.
Pietia! Forgive me, and for shooting you as well. How are you doing?
Just some heart problems, not a subject for today. I'm sorry about Uncle Stanislav. Forgive me for not coming to the funeral. I can't bear cemeteries.
We'll have to meet up again.
Goodbye.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stashio's. It was special. Amber liqueur with quinces.
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? If it's not here, I'm sure it's in the basement. But I won't grope around down there in the dark now. I've got my hands full.
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Victor, could you track down a little bottle for your uncle?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure. How did it go? Mission accomplished?
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. We would meet in Stasha's study after every funeral we went to, and raise a toast to the dead. And recently, we've been seeing one another more and more at such events. More and more. But this time, even he has left me. So, to an easy death, as Stasha and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Ligia told you?
I haven't even had the chance to ask.
He didn't suffer, but such images in the memory are better saved for later. I'd prefer to remember him as he was alive. What then? Am I drinking alone? I suppose there's no reason to bear grudges or be angry, is there? Eustachio?
To an easy death.
Familiar faces keep vanishing from my life. Eustachio and my Helena before him. I miss my little darling. I miss them both. Well, obligation fulfilled. Shall we get to the reading of the will?
At the funeral, there was this sad Jewish fellow, Mordechai Hayat. Do you know him, Uncle?
He worked for Stanisław, but that was a long time ago. I don't know him more than that. So, shall we collect our inheritance?
Yes, let's find out what my father hasn't left me.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please take a seat? Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me by the grace of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor of all Russia, I hereby testify. Mr. Szulski's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the presence of Zaclav Fedorov, Esquire, that is, myself. My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord 1888. In the name of the Holy Trinity. Amen. Therefore, my first irrevocable wish is to appoint as executrix of this will my daughter, Ligia Szulska. Immediately after my death, an inventory shall be conducted in full accordance with the law. After completing the inventory, all my personal movables will be sold at public auction. And let the funds raised thereby be donated on the anniversary of my death to the beggars near that cemetery. The administration of the remainder of my fortune I leave, without restriction, to the person of my daughter Ligia.
I'm not even getting a teaspoon.
All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration of my daughter. I do not prescribe a method of administering them. I merely offer her one piece of advice. I wish that the business should be conducted with modesty, prudence, and honesty, as I have conducted it my whole life.
A joker to the very end.
To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander Voronin, I wish to leave the following. My collection of muskets and 2 revolvers, dating to the uprising in memory of our first meeting.
Eustachio, I will have plenty to do in my retirement.
Enjoy your retirement. Now, Mr. Fedorov, what did my father leave my mother?
Victor, be serious.
Nothing. There is a special item reflecting the absolute lack of any bequest to my former spouse, Nadia Fyodorovna Voronina. I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Viktor Szulski, by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Carry it out solemnly, though you may have found it burdensome. However, this last bequest poses a certain problem.
Yes, it certainly does. And what is that, may I ask?
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Szulski used it up until his death, yet no one left it with me after his passing.
Meaning it's disappeared? Did father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
A building? It collapsed on top of him? How? How did this happen?
It was a day like any other. Papa had gone for his habitual walk. Every Tuesday and Thursday, he'd take a stroll to get some space, as he put it. When he didn't come back for a long time, I got the bad feeling something had happened. Then...
We rode there together. An entire wall of a tenement had collapsed. There were 3 victims, including Stasio, who had the bad luck to simply be walking by. To see him there in that condition, it's beyond description.
The grimoire. Could someone have taken it?
Perhaps, in all that confusion.
But why would anyone want Papa's grimoire? An ordinary person won't use it. Would the Thaumaturge just happen to be passing by?
Father had all his knowledge in there, but I don't know if it would be useful to someone other than him. I don't even know why he left it to me.
I'm sure Stasio had a reason.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
The southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station. Anyway, you can miss it.
Of all the possibilities, this was the death that fate prepared for him.
I foresaw a slightly more pleasant end for him, myself. I doubt even he deserved such a horrible death.
Those might be the kindest words you've ever said on the subject of a father.
How typical of his sort of person to keep a portrait in his study of a family that was only a family on canvas. Not long after the painting was done, he got divorced, ruined the Nijitas, and kicked out his son. But there the portrait hangs, as if family meant anything at all.
I don't know what exactly happened with Abauritse, but I know that Papa felt guilty. You don't want to forgive him even now that he's gone?
The dead need no forgiving. And as for forgetting, I don't know how. It's just a shame about the grimoire.
What do you intend to do?
And Mordechai Chayat. Could that be a lead?
I don't think so. He worked with Father, but he left more than a year ago. I don't know why. He was an assistant at our, well, my store.
Do you know where I might find him?
Sadly, no.
Do you have any other ideas?
Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konieczkin. Have you heard anything about him?
Konieczkin? No, doesn't ring a bell.
All sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean every one of them might know something about the grimoire.
That's true. You've got your work cut out for you.
I think we have to look for the answer in the place where it happened.
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I, or Uncle, or Detective could. This is a good lead, but is it the only one?
And where are Father's things at the moment?
You're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything has been sorted through yet, but you go right ahead.
And the store? I should check that too.
I've started stock-taking there to distract myself, and I don't want you to go in there before I've finished.
As you wish. Now at least I can see how little I know. Maybe these scraps of information will lead me somewhere.
Well, now that we know what's got to be figured out, forgive me, my darlings. I'm going to give my old bones a rest.
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia. I'm sorry it happened this way. That I wasn't close by.
The most important thing is you're here now.
How do you find our old stomping ground? Yes, I'm not too fond of this place either. This is where I had my last conversation with my father, just before I left. If you can call it a conversation. Can you see my dreams? Nightmares, actually. Ever since I decided to come back, I keep reliving the same memory. The lone shark incident. I've been seeing his death more and more lately. I wonder if his shop is still there. Perhaps we should go there and check. Hello?
I talk here? Do you hear me now? Victor? Victor, are you there?
Grigori? Yes.
Victor, where are you?
On the other end of the line, at home, where the telephone rang.
Incredible.
How did you know I have a telephone at home?
Something's interrupting you, Victor. I am telecommunicating with you to say I found lodgings here in Warsaw. If you need me, I'm by the cemetery. What number is it? Yes, 7 Powaskowska Street. Number 7 by cemetery. Powaskowska.
I'm glad. It's good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear you as well. Goodbye. I want to end now. What do I... like this? Wonderful device. Remarkable. Hello? Oh, and now?
Master Victor, let me guess.
Will there happen to be anything stronger?
I see you're all grown up. There's still a little homemade liqueur if Judge Voronin's not polished it all off. Help yourself. It's been an age since we've seen one another. I'm glad you're back. Mistress Ligia is really struggling with everything.
And so, the great Stanisław Szulski is dead, crushed by a building. Can't say I'd wish a death like that on anybody.
An awful death. Sheer cruelty. Mr. Szulski didn't deserve it. Now all we can do is think back on what a wonderful man he was.
That won't take long. Ligia won't open up to me, but how is she doing?
She's having a rough time, the poor dear. Her heart is heavy, though she doesn't show it. But she's strong. She keeps her chin up and doesn't give in. And it's good she's got you to help now, Master. Only she's started smoking like a chimney. She takes after her father, no question about it.
So, this death, what do you make of it, Grażynka?
I'll tell you in confidence, Master Szulski. Now, I'm a simple woman, but something about your father's death doesn't sit right with me.
How do you mean, Grażynka?
Don't you suspect some impure powers had a hand in it?
Do you mean it could have something to do with thaumaturgy?
That I don't know. Look at us jabbering while there are potatoes not peeled. Forgive me, Master.
Another time, Grażynka. I'll get out of your way.
Always ample work, but I can always snatch a moment for a chit-chat with you, Master.
Have you found anything yet about the grimoire? Is there any way I can help?
What's next for you? You're in charge here now. Have you got some kind of grand scheme?
A grand scheme? Oh, for now, I'm just trying to keep my head above water. Certain customers are unconvinced that a woman can handle running a business. What's worse, a woman without powers. You know what I mean. A thaumaturge at my side would shut them all up. After all, it's your heritage too.
I don't know anything about running a company, but if I can help in any way, you can count on me.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I trust the smoke doesn't bother you.
The trousers are an original style. Until now, I'd only seen women in trousers in the East.
First of all, they're practical. It's the 20th century. It's high time we started dressing comfortably.
You've always been brave, never afraid of anything or anybody. Like when Mother almost had a fit because you dumped my best dye in hot cocoa.
I didn't care that she was angry. I wanted to get you back for not wanting to play with me.
Because you were being too annoying.
You meant to say brave. By the way, Grażyna still makes cocoa every evening. You can conjure up the flavor of childhood if you want. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
You used to detest the smell of tobacco. You'd hold your breath going into Father's study.
That's true, but when I'd stay here, alone with Papa, and somehow over the years I got used to it. I don't know when I started copying him even.
Daddy's girl. You were always closer to him.
That's not true. I was just less rebellious than you, his Thaumaturge son. Now come on, what else is on your mind?
In Father's study, I found a trace of a woman that I couldn't identify.
Probably Svetlana Rumyantseva.
Who is she? And what did Father have to do with her?
Svetlana is a Russian aristocrat who travels with the Romanovs' court. I can only tell you she was a customer of Father's.
A customer? If you don't want to say, then don't. Where can I find her?
When she's in town, she stays at the Imperial Hotel.
She might know something that will help me find the grimoire.
Not so fast. To get in, you're going to need me and my connections. Svetlana is famous for her soirees where she hosts the crème de la crème of Warsaw.
What's a soiree?
How long did you say you lived with Mother in Paris? Just a party, if you like. Do you know what that is?
Very funny.
We could go together. How about you track down some evening clothes and I'll sort out the invitation. And I won't take no for an answer.
Sadly, you never give me a chance. Unfortunately, everything in my wardrobe is antediluvian. I need a tailor.
There's a shop at 11 Pruzhna Street that's fairly decent and quick. We also have barbers in Warsaw in case you want to do something about whatever you have growing on your head and face.
Are you lost?
Fuck. Don't try to be a hero, and it'll be all right.
You're outnumbered.
I'll forget I saw you if you just leave this place.
Somehow. I don't trust you. Do we get him?
I'm just trying to spare you from disgrace. Get off my lawn!
Victor? I heard a noise. Are you all right?
I'm fine. We've had a few unwelcome visitors.
Burglars? What's wrong with this town? I'll call Uncle.
There's no rush. I don't think they'll try to rob anyone anytime soon. Excuse me? Damn it. I forgot to turn the key.
Sorry, what?
You tell me. What is it?
I couldn't help noticing you're struggling for inspiration.
You've got a keen eye. The book makes it easier? I have to guess what everyone has in their mind.
Is there any way I can help?
I want to know what people look for in fashion these days. Back in the day, all you needed was 2 pant legs and a space for your Johnson. I don't know what else there is to it. If you tell me that, I'll be grateful. I'll sew you anything you want in return.
Let me sharpen my senses. I need some evening wear, quick.
Good proportions.
Thank you.
Alterations won't take long. Your name and address, sir?
Viktor Szulski, 9 Green Square.
I'll send a messenger when I'm done. And Mr. Szulski, if you'll allow me a moment of candor, as it often seems no one dares to address you with it.
Sorry, what?
Go and find yourself a barber in Pavonsky. You look like a troglodyte. Now, I'd like to go to my business.
I won't bother you.
All right.
Well, well. Yes, sir. Well, well. It smells so nice in here. Is that vanilla?
Vanilla, raisins, butter, sugar, and some more butter. You're in heaven. Can I help you?
Mrs. Jagoda, it's me, Victor.
I can't believe my eyes. Little Victor? Oh my, how you've grown, and how handsome you've become. Where is that little cherub who would stand in front of the display, staring at pastries?
Mrs. Jagoda, as a grown man, I can confess that it was never the sweets. It was about you.
You devil! But to be honest, I have a daughter, so if you ever...
Excuse me? I'm waiting for my order here.
No reason to be angry, darling. Just wait a moment. My daughter is taking the fruitcake out of the oven now. It will be hot.
With raisins and orange peel? I'll wait then.
Are you sure you're not a thaumaturge?
Let that be my sweet secret.
That is all, thank you. Goodbye.
Don't you want to take anything sweet home with you? Well, as you wish.
Get a steak for when your life is at stake. Make any vampire quickly retire. An aspen steak for you, sir? Premium wood, carved at midnight on the solstice. They're cheap.
Vampires? I don't think so.
What do you mean? The dead rising at the cemetery? They must be vampires.
Vampires are salutors attracted by blood and sizzling passion. There's nothing interesting for them among the dead.
It's what people believe that matters.
The steaks are exquisite, I must admit. What else do you sell?
holy icons, miraculous Marys, salt.
Table salt?
Consecrated, but the stakes, I tell you, sir. Ever since they buried the magician, they've been selling like hotcakes. Anyone with some sense buys them.
Do you believe in all of this?
I believe in money. And if people are willing to buy a stick out of fear, then who am I to argue?
This buried magician, is it Shulski?
I think so. It makes no difference to me what his name was.
For him, stakes are not enough. We need to call the Pope.
Don't tell anyone or I'll lose my livelihood.
Goodbye. I hope the vampires don't take revenge on you.
They have no interest in me. I'm anemic. Please, tell your friends. On Wednesdays, I sell 4 steaks for the price of 2.
Hello.
Indeed. Fanciable.
Up close, I would even say a solid 8, wouldn't you?
I don't know. We'll see when he turns around. Eight it is.
Will you show us something more?
May I ask what you ladies are doing?
What everyone does. We're evaluating.
A solid 8?
You know, on a scale from 1 to 10, you look quite spiffy, sir.
Why are you smoozing with some sucker who's already suited and booted for his own funeral? And you, lousy fop, got an itching looking for some philandering at the Marble Orchard, are you?
6, 5.
0. There's nothing here for you. Mr. 8 got some you-know-what, so he caught our eye. And vice versa, I can tell.
Get ready for some shellacking, lads. We got a dandy looking for some extra ventilation. And, as luck would have it, not too far from the orchard either.
Sir, you have the unique opportunity of becoming a 10.